This video is sponsored by nobody. Marvel fatigue. Is it real? Yes. Yes, it is. And I'm gonna talk about it now. So recently, I took a little break from YouTube. This wasn't planned, it just sort of happened, and I just wanted to make this video to explain why I took the break and why it has everything to do with the MCU. But before we dive in, we need to clear something up. It's not Marvel fatigue, it is just bad movie fatigue. And right now, it's just Marvel making the bad movies. And they are really good at it. So this is what this video is. It's my experience with bad movie fatigue and how it is virtually unavoidable even if you are an MCU fanboy cuck shill. A few years ago, if you told me I would eventually tire of Marvel, I would give up on it, I'd be like, who does this guy think he is? I was the MCU fanboy cuck shill. I used to get excited when they would announce a new project. But now, I have to almost force myself to get excited. It's like, oh, the Marvels movie. Yay. I just feel like I have to watch whatever they're gonna put out, even if I don't really want to, just because I want to keep up to date with Marvel, because I like Marvel, but not even that much anymore. It feels more like homework. It's like I'm always playing catch up. I'm always 2 steps behind. And after I came to this realization, I just kind of checked out. That's why there haven't been any new videos, because I just don't really care anymore. And my original cope was that this was temporary. I had just come off this huge Marvel video and I had crammed so much content down my own throat. I thought I was just kind of tired with Marvel. I needed a little break, I'd cycle back eventually, and everything would be fine. But no, I still don't care. For once, I feel free from the shackles of Disney. I've had a long enough break where I don't feel obligated to make videos on all this new content anymore. I mean, I haven't really made videos on anything, but moving forward, I'm really gonna try and make videos that I want to make, or talk about a movie or a show that I actually want to talk about. Because I'm tired of just saying the same old things about Marvel. Oh, it was fine. It was okay. Because that's all that Marvel feels like right now. It's all fine. It's all palatable. I thought Disney was gonna slow down these releases, and they said they were, and to be fair they are, but it's too late. They crammed all this content down our throat and are surprised when we don't want more of it or even care about what's to come in the future. Like in a few months time we're getting season 2 of Loki, and I don't have a single care in the world, and frankly I think that's a sign of growth, because in this break from the media machine that is Disney, I've been able to explore other areas of movies that have nothing to do with superheroes. Even if it's a stupid movie like Grown Ups 2, it's something I want to watch and not something that I feel like I have to watch. And if you care even a tiny bit about what I'm watching or the silly things I have to say, you should go follow me on Letterboxd. That's what you should do. Please and thank you. But anyways, I feel as though I've almost outgrown Marvel. Back in the day, I could sit down and stomach multiple Marvel movies in a row. I was in love with this, but now I can barely take 2 episodes at a time. Clearly something has changed. Now, is it me or the content? Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. Marvel has given the game away. They've shown how much they truly only care for money. It's almost heartbreaking. As the audience, you want the people making the film or show that you're watching to be fans of the source material and enjoy what they're doing. And in the past, that's what it felt like. I could just be delusional, but when you look back to phase 1, when superhero movies were a relatively new thing, the stuff they were making back then was just dripping with personality. It felt authentic, like there was a team of people that were passionate to make these movies. And then you skip ahead to where we are now, and it's gone. I don't get that sense of authenticity when I'm watching the new Marvel, and a key component of this lack of genuine care in these projects was when Disney Plus happened. That's when this switch came. So now, if you truly wanted to stay up to date with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you would have to pay for Disney Plus. But the thing is, you're gonna realize that none of these shows are really that good, and all of them follow a relatively similar format, fitting into the 6-episode window. And honestly, they all range from pretty bad to just tolerable. Oh, and if you don't do this, I'm speaking to you as a Disney executive right now. If you don't want to buy Disney Plus, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You can still only just watch the movies, and I encourage you to do so. But after you step out of the theater, you will be hit with a crazy case of FOMO. You will rush home to buy Disney Plus, because you're gonna be in the theater thinking, who are these characters? What's all this about? And then you're gonna go home and buy my streaming service, because this has been an elaborate game of me taking even more of your money. For a long time, Marvel has been a franchise of which I have found comfort in. It's something you could put on in the background and feel safe watching. You know what's gonna happen, but you like that you know. You find comfort in it. You've seen this movie before. You've seen it a dozen times, but it never gets old. It's timeless in a sense. But I don't feel that anymore. I don't get that comfort because I'm just watching the same show reskinned a dozen times. And I know they're not all the same show. Oh, this was a Christmas show. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. And it's not like I hate Marvel now. It's just that I can't keep this raging Marvel hard on anymore. That's the only way I can put it. I'm out of rhino pills. I can't do this anymore. But anyways, after watching the rest of Phase 4, I realized how truly monotonous this phase was. And I think what really did it for me was trying to finish that second Marvel video. I was halfway through Thor: Love and Thunder and I just thought to myself, this isn't fun anymore. And if I did make that video, it would have been like, oh, this was pretty dull. And this show was kind of like the last show. This is pretty dull too. And that would have been the whole video, because that's what this felt like. It just felt like nothing. And if Marvel drops a banger like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I know that's gonna be good, I'm gonna go see that. But like, I'm not finishing Secret Invasion. I remember they were marketing this show as a gritty spy thriller. It was gonna be Marvel's Andor. And from the few episodes I've seen, it's just so bad. It feels like a cosplay. It's like a copy of something better. Like, none of the actors are really that into it. No one is giving it even 50%, and it feels so soulless. And you can even see it in the AI generated intro. Like, come on, what is that? Is Marvel really using AI now? And let's not forget, by the end of the show, from the clips I've seen, they just drop the entire spy angle and it becomes yet again another CGI final boss battle. Remember back to She-Hulk? Remember that? And how the ending of that was just the writers being relatively self-aware for once and like actually realizing that all of their shows end the same way, and then proceed to make Secret Invasion, which is a perfect example of the thing being mocked in She-Hulk. It's like Marvel knows the problem but don't care enough to fix it because they know people will watch regardless. This is what I really wanted to talk about. They will keep making the same show until they cannot make it anymore. It's not that Marvel wants to improve. It's not that they want to make these shows better and better. It's that they're gonna keep making them until they are forced to make them better. Marvel has insane brand recognition. People will watch simply because of the name. You want to know why all the Marvel content feels generic? Why all the content feels mundane? It's because the studio executives know they don't have to be creative. What is the reason to adapt if you can get away with the mediocre content? Think of this from Disney's perspective. They can keep making these cookie cutter shows with the same format, same ending, same structure because they know people will watch. Maybe there will be a slight viewer drop off here and there, but it is not enough to incentivize change at the executive level. Why would they change the formats? Why should they be creative? There is not enough profit to gain from doing something experimental or something new because they are already at the top. When you think superhero movies or shows, you think Marvel above all else. They are carrying the industry, and not carrying in the sense that they're making the best content, but because they saturated the market with so much of it. Their new style is quantity over quality, drowning the viewer in content. And the thing is, now they've hit the peak in this space. They are at the very top of the superhero genre, so to say. Why would they change? It's still going to bring in profits regardless of what the average viewer thinks. And let's not act like these mega corporations actually care about the audience. This is a business first and foremost. They are here to generate profits for their shareholders. They don't care that their last 4 projects have gotten really bad ratings or a bad Rotten Tomato score. It does not bother them because they only care about making money. It is a terrible system when it comes to creating cinema because at the fundamental level, it is so purely against creativity. As long as you keep watching, as long as you keep complaining on Twitter, or X now, as long as you keep giving the Marvel brand relevance, they will continue to make brain-dead content because it is easy and it makes money. And that is what's wrong with Disney. That's what's wrong with all of this. And furthermore, the only time these media giants will ever listen to anything you might have to say is when they see a major dip in profits and they have to reassess their approach so they can keep making money. They don't care about the art that they make, if you can even call it that. They care about the money they can generate off the art. They want to cut costs any way they can. And when I say they, I mean Disney. This huge profit-led corporation sucking the soul of every individual for every dollar they have. And that's what Marvel has become, a product to be sold. And I guess Marvel has always been like this, but the never-ending greed of Disney has finally made me accept this harsh reality. That's where I'm at. I'm at acceptance. And now I can finally move on. I don't feel like I have to keep lying to myself. I don't have to try and get myself hyped when I see a new trailer. And the writer strike that's happening right now only further reinforces this idea. The studios will cut anywhere they can just to squeeze out any additional profit. They abuse the writers, they abuse the actors. There are so many loopholes in the contracts just to try and not pay these people a living wage. And at this point, it's kind of funny how stubborn the studios are being. They will do anything instead of paying their workers a fair wage. The strike has been going for over 100 days at this point, and these studios are losing about $30 million a day in lost revenue, which is just insane to me. Hollywood would rather try and wait out the strike, lose billions of dollars in postponing movies and TV shows, and wait for these writers to cave in to Hollywood's already pretty terrible conditions. They would do all of that, then simply adhere to what the writers are asking for: higher pay, better residuals, some sort of assurance on AI. These aren't some crazy demands. The companies can very easily do all of these, but are refusing to do so. And it's not that the studios can't meet these accommodations, it's just that they simply don't want to. And this is the problem with Hollywood, because they prefer making money to actually making movies. And the thing is, A24 was actually allowed to continue making movies because they've complied with every single demand given to them by the Writers Guild. So if a smaller studio like A24 can accommodate, then what's stopping these much larger companies? It's greed. That's what it is. And AI is just another facet of this greed. You know what's cheaper than hiring a writer to write a script? Asking a robot to do it for you. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I hear that a script of a movie has been generated by AI, or really any major part of the filmmaking process has been replaced with AI, I immediately stop caring about the entire film. There's something so disingenuous about the entire thing, because AI doesn't have the ability to be truly creative. What it does have is the ability to steal from others and repackage as its own. It's not real. And I don't think this is such a hot take, but I prefer my movies to be written, shot, and directed by humans, because that's what a movie is. It's an expression of the human condition. It's a piece of art created by a group of people to be consumed and interpreted by another. That is what's so pure about film. It's an individual's personal outlook manifested into something greater. And when you remove that human element from the film, you get something fake. You get a ripoff. And watching something that was made by a robot feels like a waste of time. And even thinking about it now, it's like, why would I do that? You are not getting anything truly that impactful, because the AI is just taking from somewhere else. That's not what cinema is. And sure, some directors may borrow from others, but everyone has their own spin on things. Every director has their own personality. Every writer has a slightly different way of wording something. Every cinematographer will shoot something slightly differently. If it's Wes Anderson or David Fincher or even Uwe Boll, everyone has a distinction, but AI doesn't. It doesn't have that nuance that you get from a human. But you know who doesn't care about any of this? Money-hungry studios. Like I said before, they don't care about the movies they make, they care about the money they can generate off the movies. And even looking to the Secret Invasion intro, yes, it was AI. Yes, it looks bad. But it was kind of scary how quick they were able to implement it into the creative process. Instead of paying an artist a wage to make that intro, they could ask an AI to make it for them for a lot cheaper. Because if you cut costs, you make more money. If you ask me, cinema should be made by people and not robots. So that's where I'm at. I'm at acceptance. It is such an exhausting thing being a Marvel fan nowadays, and having to convince yourself that you really enjoy the mundane content you're being fed, it is just too draining. And there's nothing inherently wrong with liking Marvel. I don't want that to be your takeaway. You can like whatever you like. All I ask is you broaden your horizons and try something different. Hey guys, as some of you might know, I've been on a break recently. I don't know, it just sort of happened. Life got in the way, but life is gone now, so I should be back to posting videos on a somewhat regular basis. Thank you for sticking around this long if you made it to the end. I don't really know what else to say. Subscribe, I guess, if you want to. If you like the video, give it a like, I guess. Bye-bye. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Goodbye. Bye. Click off the video now. Goodbye.